Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're tackling something I think we all kind of secretly stress about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Workplace stress.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Who hasn't felt that pressure cooker heat at work?
Yeah.
But before we all end up totally burned out,
Right.
let's figure out how to manage this beast,
Yes.
before it's too late.
That's a great point. There's a big difference between just like regular stress and burnout.
Yeah.
Like stress is that short, jolt of energy you get when you're up against a challenge.
Okay.
Can even be a good thing sometimes.
Right.
But it's when that stress becomes constant, never ending. Well, that's when we've got trouble.
Yeah.
That's burnout territory.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Burnout is more than just having a rough day or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like this total drain.
Yes.
You're wiped out physically, emotionally, mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of us have felt those classic burnout signs, right? Like you're not getting things done like you used to.
Yeah.
You can't seem to focus. And it's like this cloud of, what's the point?
Yeah.
Hanging over everything.
Ah.
Not fun.
Yeah, not fun.
But, okay, so what do we do about it?
Well, one of the best ways to understand it is to look at someone who's been there and figured it out.
Okay.
I'm thinking of Nadia's story.
Okay.
She's a graphic designer, totally loves her work.
Yeah.
But her agency was basically a pressure cooker,
Oh, yeah.
She was about to explode.
Oh, wow.
Relatable, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So did she end up quitting or?
Nope.
Okay.
She decided to fight back, but in a really smart way.
Okay.
She focused on 3 major changes.
Right.
First, setting boundaries.
Okay.
She talked to her manager about her workload,
Mm-hmm.
got a handle on prioritizing tasks.
Good.
And this is key. She set a hard stop to her workday.
Oh.
No more late nights bleeding into her personal time.
Boundaries. Okay, love it.
Yeah.
What else did she change?
Next up, she made sure to take breaks during the day. Sounds simple, but even just stepping away from her desk for a few minutes helped her clear her head,
Right.
reset, and come back with fresh eyes.
Okay, so small changes, but making them consistent.
Yeah.
And her third strategy.
Nadia made self-care a non-negotiable.
Okay.
Regular exercise and meditation became like her go-to weapons against the stress monster.
Right.
Exercise especially helped her burn off that pent-up energy and frustration.
Yeah.
And then meditation was like her secret weapon for finding calm
Okay.
in the middle of that crazy agency world.
Okay. I'm getting inspired.
Yeah.
She basically built her own stress-busting routine, customized for her life.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the WHY behind all this?
Yeah.
Why did these changes work for her?
Exactly.
And why should they work for us?
That's the real secret sauce, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just doing the things, but understanding why they work. By
Right.
setting those boundaries,
Yes.
that was about protecting her energy, preventing all that resentment that builds up when you're overworked and feeling taken advantage of.
Yeah, resentment is the worst.
Ugh, it's the worst.
It's like the slow poison, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those breaks she built in,
Yeah.
those allow for mental and emotional recovery.
Okay.
Like hitting reset on your brain before it overheats,
Yeah.
it's essential.
Right.
And then self-care.
Yeah.
Well, that's all about replenishing all the resources you've used up dealing with stress.
Right.
Think of it like refueling your tank so you can actually keep going without hitting empty.
Okay. This is all making sense, but it's still Nadia's story.
Right.
We're all different
Mm-hmm.
with different jobs,
Yeah,
different stressors.
definitely.
How do we take this general idea and make it work for our own messy lives?
You're right. It's not one size fits all.
Yeah.
That's why what we're going to build together today is your personalized stress relief toolkit.
Oh, okay.
It's like, what are the strategies that actually work for you?
Love it.
Okay.
Let's get practical. First things first, we need to figure out what your specific stress triggers are.
Yeah.
So what are the top 3 things at work that consistently push your buttons?
Mm-hmm.
Take a second to really think about it.
Yeah.
Got 'em.
All right, now let's get strategic.
Okay.
For each of those triggers you just identified,
Yeah.
let's brainstorm some coping mechanisms.
Right.
For example, if tight deadlines are a major stressor for you,
Right.
maybe you need to work on your time management skills.
Okay.
Or even get comfortable delegating tasks when possible.
Yeah.
Or let's say you've got that one coworker who just rubs you the wrong way,
Oh.
drains your energy.
Oh, I think we all have that coworker.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe in that situation, the key is learning some assertive communication techniques.
Okay.
This isn't about being aggressive,
Right.
but learning how to advocate for your own needs
Yeah.
respectfully, but firmly.
Okay.
That can be a game changer.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Because there are so many different approaches you can try.
Right.
Think about physical activities like yoga or going for a run to burn off that stress. Or maybe mental practices work better for you, like mindfulness, meditation, or even journaling to get those thoughts out of your head and onto paper.
Absolutely.
And don't forget the power of connecting with others.
Yes.
Sometimes just talking to a friend or a trusted colleague can help you de-stress and gain a fresh perspective.
Oh, totally.
Totally. Venting can be therapeutic as long as you're not spiraling into negativity, of course.
Of course.
But the key takeaway here is this. Choose strategies that resonate with you.
Right.
That fit your personality and your lifestyle.
Exactly.
There's no right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's about what actually helps you feel better.
It's about what works for you.
And don't feel like you need to go from 0 to 60 overnight.
Right.
Start small.
Yeah.
Pick one manageable habit to add to your daily routine.
Exactly.
Like how about taking a 5-minute mindfulness break each afternoon? Or even just committing to staying hydrated throughout the day. Sometimes the simplest things make the biggest difference.
So true.
Small changes, consistently applied, can have a huge ripple effect.
Absolutely.
But hold on a sec, we've got to take a quick break.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll dive deeper into some bigger picture strategies for building resilience, and you won't want to miss it.
Great.
All right, we're back and ready to level up your resilience game.
Yes.
We've got your personalized stress relief toolkit in progress.
Right.
But now let's zoom out a bit.
Yeah.
And look at some bigger picture strategies. The kind of stuff that can really shift your whole approach to dealing with workplace pressure.
Love that.
And I think one of the most important and maybe the hardest is learning to say no.
Yes, that dreaded 2-letter word.
But seriously, why is saying no so tough for so many of us?
It's interesting, right? We often feel this almost like automatic obligation to say yes to every request, even when we're already swamped.
All right.
It's like we're afraid to disappoint anyone.
Right.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Saying yes when you really want to say no, that's a fast track to resentment, feeling overwhelmed, and ultimately, you guessed it, burnout.
Ugh, yeah, been there.
So how do we get better at this whole boundary setting thing?
Yeah, because honestly, I struggle with it too.
Well, for me, it starts with recognizing your own limits.
Okay.
We have to understand that it's not selfish to prioritize our own well-being.
Right.
In fact, it's essential. You know, that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yes.
It's so true.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
But what about when saying no outright feels impossible?
Right.
Like with your boss.
Yeah.
How do you push back without, risking your job?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's where the nuance comes in. Okay. Sometimes it's not about saying a flat-out no, but rather about negotiating. Could you suggest a slightly different deadline? Can you delegate part of the task?
Right.
Or maybe offer an alternative approach that works better for you?
Right.
It's about being proactive and finding solutions.
So it's more like a no BUT kind of.
Exactly. Yeah. It's about honoring your own needs while still showing that you're a team player.
Right.
All right, so boundaries, got it.
All right, so boundaries, got it.
What's another big picture strategy we can use?
Yeah, what else?
This one might sound a little counterintuitive.
Okay.
But it's about focusing on what you can control when we're feeling super stressed.
Yeah.
It's often because we're fixated on all the things that are outside our control.
Right.
Other people's actions, deadlines imposed on us, external stuff.
Ooh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
I definitely fall into that trap.
Yeah.
So how do we shift that focus?
What's fascinating is that by consciously redirecting our attention to the things we do have control over, our own actions, our attitude, how much effort we put in, we actually reclaim a sense of agency.
Right.
It's empowering.
It's like we're taking back the steering wheel instead of feeling like we're just along for the ride.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And it's not about pretending the external stuff doesn't exist.
Right.
It's about choosing where to put your energy.
Okay.
And speaking of powerful tools, there's another one that can be incredibly helpful in managing stress.
Okay. What's that?
Gratitude.
Okay, gratitude.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about this lately.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, sometimes it feels a bit too woo-woo for me.
Right.
Can simply thinking positive thoughts actually make a difference?
Yeah.
When I'm buried under a mountain of deadlines.
I get it. It can sound a bit simplistic.
Yeah.
But the research on this is pretty compelling.
Okay.
What's amazing is that practicing gratitude has been shown to have a profound impact on our mental and emotional well-being.
Okay.
It's like a mental shift.
Right.
Moving our focus away from what's wrong to what's actually going right.
Okay, but how do we actually do gratitude?
Yeah.
Does this mean I need to start a gratitude journal?
Right.
Because honestly, I can barely keep up with my to-do list.
A journal can be great,
okay,
but it's not the only way.
Right.
You can simply take a few minutes each day,
Okay.
maybe first thing in the morning or right before bed,
Mm-hmm.
to reflect on things you're grateful for, big or small.
Okay.
It could be something as simple as a really delicious cup of coffee.
Right.
Or the fact that you have a supportive colleague.
Yeah.
Or even just appreciating a beautiful sunset.
So it's about noticing those little sparks of joy that are already there.
Exactly,
Yeah.
even amidst the chaos.
Even amidst the chaos, okay.
And here's another thing that often gets overlooked when we talk about resilience.
What's that?
Seeking support when you need it.
This is so important.
Right.
We often try to tough it out on our own.
Yeah.
Like asking for help is a sign of weakness or failure.
Right.
But honestly, that can be incredibly isolating.
Yes.
And it doesn't actually work.
It's so true.
Yeah.
We need to remember that asking for help is not a weakness. It's actually a sign of strength.
I like that.
It shows self-awareness and a commitment to taking care of yourself.
Right.
And the good news is there are so many resources available.
Yeah.
Mentors, managers, colleagues, friends, family, therapists, support groups.
Right.
You name it.
It's like, we don't have to go through this alone.
Exactly. And sometimes just talking it out with someone you trust can make all the difference.
Absolutely. All right, so let's recap what we've covered so far, because it's a lot.
It is a lot.
We talked about recognizing those sneaky signs of burnout early on.
Right.
Creating your personalized stress relief toolkit.
Yeah.
Setting boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Focusing on what you can control.
Yes.
Practicing gratitude.
Yeah.
And asking for help when you need it.
It's important.
Wow, that's quite a toolkit.
It is. But what's exciting is that you can start using these tools today.
Right.
Right now.
Yeah.
It's all about taking those proactive steps to protect your well-being.
Right.
And build that resilience muscle.
And remember, resilience isn't some magical destination.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing journey.
It is.
It's something we cultivate over time with
yeah.
practice and a whole lot of self-compassion.
And honestly, it's not about eliminating stress altogether.
Yeah.
That's unrealistic.
Yeah.
It's about learning to manage it effectively so it doesn't take over our lives and turn into that dreaded burnout.
Love that. So before we wrap things up, I'm going to leave our listeners with one final thought-provoking question.
Right.
Think about the connection between self-awareness and stress management.
Ooh, good one.
If you could really tune into your own personal stress triggers, like really understand them, how might that change the way you choose your coping mechanisms? How could deeper self-awareness help you create a truly personalized and effective approach to managing stress? Something to ponder.
That's such a great point. It's about becoming our own best stress detectives, understanding ourselves so we can take care of ourselves better.
I love that, stress detectives.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I think we've given our listeners a lot to chew on today. What do you think?
Yeah.
We sure have.
Yeah.
I feel like we've gone from like feeling totally overwhelmed by workplace stress.
Right.
To actually like feeling like, oh, okay, we have some tools.
Right.
Work and deal with this.
Exactly.
Doesn't it be this big, scary monster?
And that's the goal, right? It's not about like erasing stress completely. It's about understanding it, working with it, and making sure it doesn't,
take over our lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, all these strategies we've talked about,
right,
they're not just for work. They can help with any kind of stress.
Absolutely.
In life.
Yeah. It's like we're building this resilience muscle that we can use everywhere.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And like any muscle, the more we use it, the stronger it gets.
Exactly.
So even if some of these strategies feel a bit awkward or uncomfortable at first, just keep practicing, keep experimenting, and you'll find what works best for you.
And honestly, sometimes the biggest hurdle is just remembering to use these tools in the moment.
In the moment.
When things are getting crazy.
Yeah.
It's so easy to slip back into old habits.
It is.
But the more we can catch ourselves, the more empowered we become.
That's such a good point. Self-awareness is key.
Yes.
The more we understand our own unique stress triggers and responses, the better equipped we are to handle them effectively.
So to our amazing listeners out there, we hope this deep dive has given you some practical strategies.
Definitely.
Like a renewed sense of hope.
Yeah.
You've got this.
We believe in you.
Thanks for joining us today.
Until next time, stay curious, stay resilient, and keep striving for a healthier, happier you.